who's been, you know, so impressive so far.
Just going to welcome back our wider cycling fraternity as we're hitting 45 kilometres an hour now, which was our medium pace for the day finally. Welcome back, everybody. A little bit of life being shown in the peloton because we have a race up the road with Brent Van Moor and Kobe Hoesens chasing in. Kevin Genietz, Valentin Madouas now, and Maxime Van Heels. It's a trio who are in pursuit. They're at the 30-second margin. That may well indeed be trimmed down just a little bit by Alpecin de Koenig, who
Frank?
Woken up to the fact that Jesper Philipsen needs to basically deliver something when it comes to every single intermediate sprint and every single opportunity that he can get to get some big points. 50, of course, for the winner at the end of the day. There's 20 on offer at the intermediate. It goes 20, 17, 15, 13, 11. If they don't catch the intermediate group, who are at 24 seconds at the moment, in the next 4K, it means the best points available are 10. Now, Binim Gamai and his team, their avowed aim over the remaining 4 sprint stages of the
We working?
might have some quicker other days as well where it might have an impact because he doesn't mind a little bit of a ramp at the end of the day. But nonetheless, 4 sprint stages on their cards, they want to finish in the top 5. That way, they think that will be enough to guarantee the green jersey, or at least give them a big shout at it. In that competition at the moment, Binim Gamay leads on 224 points, as opposed to Jesper Philipsen, who's on 128. That is a huge deficit, Danny, and Philipsen knows he's got to start assembling points wherever he can find them, and this intermediate sprint that's coming up is an opportunity.
It is. It's a huge opportunity, and it looks like they aren't going to catch the riders out in front here with 28 seconds and then 1:16 to our leaders. So it is points that they've missed out on here. Jaco Alula.
Oh, you're home, word? That's cool.
Front now for their sprinter and Dylan Groenewegen, who of course already had a.
You must have worked earlier.
Momentum here, but yeah, for Philipsen, who's going to be somewhat desperate, you could say, at this stage, really hoping to tick that box and take a stage win.
Adam, how busy do you think Binny will be today in this intermediate?
Busy enough, he'll be there and kicking around. And I think, as Danny's just mentioned with Philipsen,
I went to the Torrington High School reunion earlier. That was interesting.
he isn't going to be stressed about his team, are not going to be stressed. They were going to ride today anyway, so I think they're just carrying on as what they were going to do with the breakout the front. I think once you get that stage win ticked off, and then start to look at the green jersey again, but there's no point in just trying to throw everything and catch this break, for example, just for the sake of a few points, and maybe tire himself out, but could have an accident, whatever it might be leading into this sprint. So I'd say for Alpecin and him, main priority is the win today.
This should be an interesting workout. We'll see how my heart rate does.
Not going to go to a red and do so.
I think whatever is done here by Jesper Philipsen for the 10 points that's going to be available, assuming that the 5 riders who are in front of them go over the line and take the 2017, 15, 13, 11 points up for grabs there for them, the top 5 positions. It kind of starting to feel like small beans, but there are some who are quite close at hand. On it to lead trails Anthony Turgis, who of course won yesterday by 6 points, so he may well revolt up to
Yeah, I went.
Podium positions. Jonas Abramson, of course, the eternal breakaway rider.
It was all right.
Sitting in 3rd place at the moment. Don't be surprised if he gets a little bit.
Not that many people from
and goes for it, but
our grade went.
it's going to be hovered up by these guys. We'll see what happens behind them. We are
Yeah, it's my phone.
1,500 meters away from that intermediate, and a relatively benign approach to this. Very, very different.
I figured you can use your Android phone
Yeah, very different.
as a webcam, so fuck it.
Technical run into this sprint on this road that you can see the riders on now, and then in the final, it's a little bit sketchy, you would say, with that kind of zigzag left and right inside the last kilometre. So it will be hugely hectic into that left-hand corner. All the sprint lead-outs will be doing what they can to make sure their leader is well positioned into that left-hand turn. We've also got a little bit of a launch pad, so with 10 kilometres to go, there's a climb of around 2.5 kilometres, only about 2-3%, and it is a straight run into that. So I don't think it will cause, many difficulties for the sprinters.
Yeah, I should angle it up a little bit higher, but... What up, Luch?
To put the hammer down to maybe put some of the
I saw Damien. Damien was there.
argue on the back foot there.
There we go then, pick it up, and Jesper Philipsen. I think apart from anything else, you'd like to make a statement.
Little shake of the head from him there, though, Carlton, which is interesting. He's still not moved on to Wheeler Van der Poel. Van der Poel's
What word did I say?
he's ramping it up, but
Damn it.
good position, but just a little shake
Shit.
there. Teammates at the front on the radio. I'm still intrigued to know why Brent Van Moor has gone in the break today. I know it's a possibility that Peloton may be relaxing a little bit too much, but it's a Tour de France stage up for grabs. They're not just going to let it pass them by.
No, why not? You're absolutely right, Adam. If there's gifts on the table.
Sorry, Luch.
Sort of cruise through at 50 odd kilometers per hour.
I'm a bad boy.
Brent Van Moor see how they kick on. Looks like these guys have kind of lost their hearts a little bit. Are they going to get snaffled just at the very death here? Kilometre to go, might be, but it's going to take an extra bit of effort, Adam, for them to be bypassed.
You had yesterday off, huh? Oh, fuck. I said fuck? Oh, my bad. Sorry, Luch.
Mark Cavendish just sat second wheel there. You can see him in the middle of the screen. Lee right towards the front as well. So there are teams that are starting to ramp this up massively. And there we go. The catch is being made relatively easily. And now it's a sprint behind for these bonus points, the green jersey points that are up for grabs.
Cabanats leading Lee. You can see the Belgian tricolor just coming up on the right-hand side of the road. Philipsen is trying to take the guide here from Mathieu van der Poel, the world champion, centre of the road. Double checks on himself here. Arkea in the way just momentarily.
My bad. Did you get your antennas or no?
Almost on a toe rope, I think, as they come to the line. Almost down into the barriers there. Goodness me. And Philipsen once again, just ahead of Kabir, I think, as indeed there was a sit-up there.
Oh, good.
Of course, Gamay, but that was a sketchy moment. Now, he
Hopefully it works.
roundly criticised and indeed relegated for.
Worst comes to worst, we just run a Ethernet line upstairs, and then negate all of it. I hate wireless. It's such a drag.
Stepped out way more than what Philipsen moved. Philipsen, for me, there did nothing wrong.
You're absolutely right, Adam. There was a pinch.
Going Tuesday?
I don't know the wisdom of that because it looked like it was by design. Sometimes you get crowds impinging and they can actually push the barriers just a little bit, Danny, but that was a sudden...
Yeah. It's much easier. Like I said, all you have to do is just... drill a hole. Wireless is going to give you more headaches than you need. A lot more headache.
Gosh, well, heart rate can now...
I mean, I have some cable.
A little bit. What can we expect?
And I think I have some ends. We can build a wireless or an Ethernet cable really quick.
Within the last kilometre, we take on two sides of what looks like an equilateral triangle to bring ourselves back to finale. There is a climb, as Danny was mentioning. Also, Matt said
You're gonna lose your shit if on wireless.
That comes with about 7 kilometres to go before the line, maybe a little bit less than that. Peak of it.
Yeah, it comes with 7.5 kilometres to go. They then descend down to 5.2, and then the last 5.2 is totally flat. But like I was saying, it's a very fast run into that climb. So I think with the momentum and the lead outs that the teams will have, it shouldn't cause too much of a difference.
Oh, okay, well.
Well, let's hope not. When you accidentally find yourself on holiday, as John Harris Bass's favourite movie, I believe.
Good. Yeah, I mean, that's really going to be... You just have to figure out where it comes out and try to find a good spot.
You know, the thing that worried me most about stage 9, Adam, was the fact that they'd put new gravel, which was limestone chunks, which they used to use at the edge of school playgrounds and the like, to stop you, I think, climbing the walls and things. These things had actually tumbled down their little hills, and they were quite deep on the entry into some of the corners. I'm just pleased we all got away with it.
Well, that's the main thing, Carlton, that they did all get away with it there. Just interesting there, Carlton. Harman Hooker just trying to take up. I had a little inkling that this might happen. Just try and take some points away from the riders for Dali there, his teammates. So Harman Hooker taking 17 points, but even that, Dali is not even in the top 5 here, top 10. He's not even there either. So even though one teammate,
I'm surprised it's still upstairs.
just up the road taking larger points, he didn't really try and contact that.
Hopefully it works,
Too much out of Van Hooker there to go.
so you can actually do something.
You'd have thought that Dali, if that was the plan, that he'd have tried
Yeah, I mean, you could, sure.
William Gamay with a good deal of
Can run it
instruction.
outside.
It looked like he'd been balked there. It was the barriers, the encroachment, the little squeeze, as Alan pointed out. But yeah, William Gamay will have considered that a job well done, Danny.
Yeah, of course. So 224 now over Jasper.
He'll definitely be thankful to have it done.
That's what he's got to keep doing. I think
Like,
give little points as and when he can. You know, the finish will be a big one. He's got that momentum, but he's got the power and the legs to do it. Like I said before, he's been really, really impressive to me, not just in the flat finishes, but also over the.
she gave you a look.
throughout this
What, is she
tournament.
playing Monopoly?
Put him in a really strong position for his quest for the green jersey.
Yeah, 224 was his starting point today. I don't think we've quite factored in the points yet. Just waiting for the commissaires to sign it off, and then we will give you those updated points.
Monopoly addicts.
Nonetheless, it is a vast gap that William Gamay holds going into today's finale, and don't count against him at the very end. He's been extraordinarily spirited, and that climb at the last, Adam, won't mean anything to him.
It won't do, no. It'll hurt the legs, that's for sure, but he's just able to deal with that pain a little bit better. He's more adapted to these sort of little inclines in the road. We know he's a very punchy rider.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Absolute monster coming into that finish. But I don't know if Matt Stevens is listening to us on that motorbike at the minute. But Matt, if you are, it would be good if you
Gotcha.
what Van Hook was doing, and if it was to take points away from the top sprinters for Delee, and why Delee didn't really contest the sprint there. Cheers, mate. Hopefully he's listening. If not, I'll text him.
I'm sure he is. Harm Van Hoek, yeah, just backing out of this break for the time being. And John, we're in
This fucking workout's gonna suck.
it went away too quickly.
I'm glad you're right. We're in Romorantin-Lanthenay,
That's the
and we can look at this spread. And Carlton, if I was to ask you to describe what you can see right now, what would you say?
I would say very flat terrain, a beautiful avenue here. I don't know what those trees are, but
Buying cards, oh man.
I actually don't know. It wasn't the fauna.
That's how they get you.
Going for. It's actually, and this is where I was fascinated to discover
the
this.
Longeurs.
This is the capital of Sologne, and it could have had a very different destiny because back in 1516, Louise of Savoy employed Leonardo da Vinci to turn the town into a modern Rome or even a new capital of France. Now, what you have just seen doesn't look like a new capital of France, and that's because, unfortunately, Leonardo da Vinci died. And so it never happened. But
It's just the spin bike you manually change your resistance. They do have bikes that will
They'd have probably
adjust with the game's elevation, but this one does not, which is kind of better for
back everybody.
structured workouts.
Now been abandoned off the front, now beaming back to base, saying, I don't know, beam me up, Scotty. He's got a
I mean, I haven't played any of those games in so long.
Van Hoek, who we assume was trying to snaffle some major points of the rivals to Arnaud de Lee in the breakaway. Arnaud not getting the best of finishes in the intermediate sprint, finished in 10th. Didn't see how he was bumped and balked, if indeed he was, or whether it just wasn't worth the candle he's holding on until the end. They will have lit many a candle in this part of the world back in the day, as John Harrisbass has just been regaling us. This area apparently was supposed to be funded so it became as magnificent as Rome.
Ugh.
Without 7 hills, like Rome, or as Adam Blythe well knows as well, like Sheffield.
Let me tell you, man, if you ever start doing this type of stuff,
They would have needed a lot of excavation work to make
you're gonna shed
possibly quite a bit more.
shed weight faster than you think.
Just interesting there, Carter. I know I mentioned Van Hooker there, trying to get points for Delee. Kobe Gosens there, who's in the front from Monty. He's done exactly the same thing. The difference is Gamay.
I'm trying to lose fat, but also kind of maintain. So changes don't really happen too quickly, but they are happening.
How was resting?
Good. Like you now? Or first race?
What did you do?
Rest?
The fact that I can do an effort for 15 minutes and still have my sweatshirt on, and I haven't started sweating yet. So just making progress.
sprints today.
Slowly but surely.
Very interesting. Also, if you look at your team with Mature, it's quite technical. How do you see the run in the free turns before the finish?
Yeah, actually, we have a straight line and we make a deviation. Maybe to stretch the peloton out a little bit. So yeah, we know it's crucial, and like the other teams are, they know as well. So yeah, something to take into account.
Oh yes, obviously you would have loved to have a win or two already.
Having the game
Different compared to
is
last
super
year. How is it that
uh,
you don't have a win
just
already
helpful
in the Tour de France?
to maintain some kind of motivation.
Ago. It was not like last year so far. So, but yeah, we try.
But it's hard work, man.
and,
Definitely not easy.
what happens.
Some days you don't want to get on at all.
Asked how he spent his rest.
And that's where you have to kind of push.
You get the feeling, Danny, that his legs are in the right place and maybe his head has slightly been distracted by the fact that the winds haven't come, not as easily, but as regularly as they did last year.
Yeah, potentially, and we're talking about this, the team and himself needing that win to just gather that momentum. You can see a problem here for Jonas, but no stress whatsoever. Always find it interesting to listen to what the riders got up to on the rest day. So individual, and I just saw Chris Harper from Team Jayco Alula did 137 kilometres yesterday in the rest day. Some riders needing a lot more than others, but clearly had the time to recover. Unlike maybe a rider like Tadej Pogacar in those jerseys, which would have had to be focused, they would have had to have had a press conference, a lot more attention around them. So
It's difficult, but the more you do it, the more your body adapts. The more your body adapts, overall it gets easier. Just takes time, patience, understanding of the body, especially understanding the heart
Riders cope with rest days.
zones, heart zones, all that fun shit.
A rhythm breaker, and they'd almost rather do without it, even over 3 weeks. And others really relish the rest. It's a strange one. How are you?
I'm alright, thanks, Colin. How are you?
No, I mean, how were you when you were riding when it came to rest days?
Fresh is best for me, Carlton. I like to put my feet up properly, just go out for an hour, cruise along, maybe get behind the car for 15, 20k, shake my legs out a little bit. But yeah, I want it to be fresh. But each rider is different. I saw Victor Campenaerts, he had his freshly sun down there.
Show my fat angle.
Like yesterday. And I think, you know, we have to remember the rest days, what you do on a rest day is very much influenced on what the stage is the day after that as well. So for example, this day's, they all knew it was flat, so it's not going to be like climbing straight up a hill or into a time zone or anything like
How come you're not at the basketball game
On the right hand side,
down at Torrington High?
but just watch that barrier kick out ever so slightly. It's at this point
It's probably halftime.
nothing to do with Phillips. He was in the trajectory alongside that barrier and been able to
Oh, word? Well, hopefully it works.
for me, Phillipson did absolutely
You can
barrier's fault, and if they want to
you can also try doing a speed test and see how it does.
further out with the logos on them. But yeah, Victor Campenaerts did absolutely zero yesterday on the bike, and if you look at today's start,
Cool.
they had a good look and thought, I don't need to do anything, I'm going to take a
Mini mocap.
See, I was totally different. I used to have to do, you know, a good couple of hours with effort because if I
Nah,
didn't,
you're not that bad.
into complete recovery mode and I would feel terrible. So, yeah, okay.
At least you're not hooked to crack.
We can see here at the back, just getting himself back onto the peloton. They would have had today to find their legs again. This will be a day for them to just stay safe. But yeah, unfortunately for me, I had to do a lot in a rest day.
Well, you're in good company because whenever we used to be on site and have our rest days, Rob Hatch, Doug, our producer, plenty of
All right, I'll be here.
hire bikes and go
The hard efforts are going to be starting, so I'm not really going to be talking too much.
to the chateau and buy some wine.
It's a waste of
Blame you, Carlton. That's
oxygen
me.
because it's only going to make my heart rate go up higher.
Glistening in the sunshine, and I just looked moderately refreshed. Anyway, There we
I
are.
mean, 3 efforts by for 5 minutes. Or
120
it's not that bad.
to go, and Abramson, who had there been any peaklets today, would have been off and up in the breakaway. Despite he didn't contest the sprint, he's still very well placed in the overall classification as far as the points are concerned. An update for you.
Yeah, good luck. Hopefully it runs.
13 points out of
Hopefully it
that.
does something.
He is on 237 points.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Got 15 points, finishing a couple of places in front of the mate there, and he's on 143. Abramson, holding station, got no points there on 107. Closing in on him, Turgis, who buoyed on by his success on the white roads, is now in 4th place on 101. He got 5 points in the intermediate sprint. Onadili got 6 points. He hasn't bust 100 yet. He's on 98. So that may all change at the end of the day. We've settled down. Time for some snap, as they say, up in the Yorkshire Dales. And as a result, it's recipe time from John Harry's house. John, it's slightly miserable. Have you got a casserole for us today?
I haven't got a casserole. I'm still actually recovering from you suggesting that Sheffield was the Rome of the North. But
They say in Sheffield, built on 7 hills, just like Rome. That's where the comparison ends, obviously.
of course they do. Yes.
John, I miss these recipes. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, well, I'm delighted you are, Adam. Today is a tartlet au pois, which is quite a complicated one to make. Well, interesting, Taxi Dave. You probably want to talk about those before I wax lyrical about food again.
It's not too much to explain, really. I mean, if you got that out, it's get to the second or third line of the peloton. Don't ride on the front. You need to be in a good position. The wind is coming from a cross tailwind, kilometre 58 to go. So from there on in, it is going to be very, very difficult to move up. All the GC teams, the sprint teams will want to be towards the front. So if they can
Oh yeah.
and hold it, it's going to make their life a lot easier.
Yeah, I think what he's alluded to as well is at 118 k's, only 800 meters time, they're going to turn left into a cross tail, and there are those sections as well, so it will make it a lot harder to move up into that kind of tail cross rather than the headwind or head cross that they're currently riding into.
Double it. Very nice to see him. Also, we're getting some images from the end of today's stage where the rain is very hard indeed. How's that going to affect things?
Quite a lot. Is the simplest way to put it. It always influences the race in a different kind of way in each situation. So in this situation here today, with the sprinters and the GC teams up here, the stress is going to be paramount, and I think that's going to be one of the main factors throughout today's positioning, as it always is within the Tour de France. But with the wet roads, it's going to really heighten that stress by quite a lot. Unless you've had a big accident, you can sit down and relax and have a little chin wag.
John, would you like to wait until everyone comes back after their commercial break, or are you going to recipe now?
No, I'll wait. I'm a patient man.
John, I felt sorry for you yesterday. So for everyone listening at home, we have a little FaceTime call with all the commentators on, and Jono's on there as well. And because 2 days ago,
Oh boy.
the action happening, Jono was just sat there for a good 5.5 hours waiting to talk. But as you all know, there wasn't really an opportunity for him to give out his recipe. So I'm glad today's a bit quieter for you, mate.
Oh, you're very kind. Yeah, it was a fascinating watch, but it was a hard, an arduous challenge sitting in this booth.
Oh, in champagne country as well.
Yeah, I've so much to say about champagne, so much to say, so many different foods to talk about, and the racing was just too good.
Whew.
And that happens on the tour.
Good, good, good.
George day as well, which I know you would have been waxing lyrical about at the beginning of the race or earlier on.
Yeah, I've missed a lot of my favourite wine, but that's okay. There's more to come.
No real stress about any of the exchanges that we're seeing at the moment. Ben Turner just swiftly back and underway. If you're going to have some bad luck, any kind of technical, Danny, it's now that you want to get it.
Yeah, of course it is. There's no stress still. Here we're going to hear from Zach Dexter.
There we are. He wants the right gearing, Danny.
Yeah, he wants the right gear in. 56 at the front, so he is expecting a really, really fast final, clearly, Ben Turner. So getting back on his #1 race bike. And it's really important for riders to be on that, first race bike. Although it will be made up exactly the same, riders are very meticulous in riding the bike they're most comfortable on, and that will be their first bike. So now, no stress. It's a chance for him to get back onto that bike and get himself back into the peloton. So yeah, totally, Carlton. If you're going to have a problem, it's now.
And the Canal Berry, John, your chance to talk us about this amazing rowing line.
Yeah, it just says that it was the narrowest canal in France. It looks pretty narrow there. So it got lots of use between 1829 and around 1841. But then, as boats became bigger and the need to transport more took place, it became rather redundant, and it now looks rather redundant.
It does. Who's the chef in Padstow in Cornwall?
Rick Stein.
Rick Stein, yes. I remember him taking a little bateau down here, frying up the odd bits and bobs at the sides of the canal. Bemoaning the fact that
That's how he loves sort of gourmet cuisine to be referred to.
bits and bobs.
The odd bits and bobs, yeah.
Well, yes. Well, he can afford to do whatever he wants. The price of his fish and chips. Queued up for those in Padstow before, I can tell you. They were delicious. And with 116 kilometres to go, as you could say, there's no stress here, so it's time for the rather licoricey voice of John Harris-Bass to talk us through a recipe of the day.
I haven't done a casserole for these weather conditions. I've done some very tasty tarte little pois, which used to be one of my favourite go-tos when I lived in France and going to the patisserie. But I discovered when making these that they're not quite as simple as I thought they were. So it requires poaching the pears, which I'd never done before, which is putting them in water, white wine, sugar with cinnamon, bit of orange peel, bit of lemon peel, and seeds from a vanilla pod. Then making a frangipane mix, which is butter, orange zest, vanilla, egg, flour, almond and salt, and then a little bit of extra apricot jam and some flaked almonds. I cheated and used a roll of short crust pastry. I don't care what people think about that. I just didn't have the time, so I'm happy with it, and it produced a great result. And it takes its time to produce these, but I have to say the finished product was well worth it. So at JHB Foodie Cyclist for that recipe and all the others.
Okay, one little detail that a lot of you might not know about. I'm just actually riding next to the Alpecin de Koning team car. Now, the bikes are not racked up randomly on the roof rack at all, and it will depend on what the team's ambitions are for any particular stage. So for today, it is a sprint stage. So the way the roof rack will be racked up in terms of the spare bikes, you'll have Jasper Philipsen's bike on the outside. So that's really easy to get to in a difficult situation. And next to him, equally as important, of course, is the bike of Mathieu van der Poel. That will change for the GC teams. All the GC protected riders, their bikes will be on the outside. And to make it a little bit easier for the mechanic who sat in the back, a lot of the team cars will have a little diagram drawn on the back of the seat to indicate exactly where the spare bikes are for the rides that they need. So when they get out the car, they can go straight there and not miss a second. Back to the commentators.
Thank you, Matt. All those little details, Danny, they make for a swift change, and it can be very dramatic if something happens late on.
Yeah, they make the difference, don't they? And there'll be that hierarchy, like Matt said, as to where the bikes are positioned on the roof and how quickly the mechanic can get to those bikes. So, of course, on a sprint day for Philipsen, his will be the quickest, most available to grab from the mechanic, and then Mathieu van der Poel being second, and then different for the GC guys and the teams looking after a GC rider as their main objective throughout the tour. So yeah, it's just all these little points, these marginal gains that can back on their bike as quickly as possible.
You may well have noticed just a few moments ago, we passed by what looked like a sort of a pounded chalk little area full of camper vans. And we've also passed over a tennis court. And I've got to tell you that it was a few years ago. I think it was in De Gaulle's time, so quite a few years ago. It was mandated that we had to have something called an aire de camping in France, and that is a free camping area. Yes, absolutely free. You'll find water, possibly a rudimentary toilet, but basically you can go all over France, and all villages, I think, with a population of more than 100 have to have an aire de camping. There's another number, I don't know whether it's a little bit more than that or close to it, where you've got to have a tennis court as well, which probably explains why, you know, such a great heritage of tennis in France, but also why then was the free camping in every single village of that size? And the reason is it is an agricultural nation, and we have, well, they had itinerant workers who would actually travel around and indeed follow the seasons essentially, from the south to further north for harvest and things like that. There were also itinerant workers who were the cowboys of the wine industry, and they were called the disgorgers, and they had basically a little pin around their neck which would take away all the sediment from the pressurized champagne bottles. They'd stick the pin down between the glass and the cork and then just take out all of the sediment to give you a clear champagne. Something I would have been waxing lyrical about with John Harris Bass yesterday. But yeah, so these people needed somewhere to stay, and the aire de campings provide that. But now what they provide you is free camping. So if you've got a camper van, you don't have to pay for a campsite, you get it for your aire de camping and go and enjoy it. Yeah,
Stevie Williams there, sorry Carlton, he's lost the arms on his glasses. I can
How on
only...
earth did
Yeah.
you lose the arms of your glasses? But, oh, I love Stevie Williams. He is absolutely hilarious. If you've never met him, you need to, because he will put a smile on your face whenever you are with him. Always wants to crack a joke.
Hey, nothing to laugh at. Well, he'll be smiling and laughing as well. So he's just signed a contract till the end of 2028, I believe it has.
Good lad. I wonder how he's done this. Looks like he's got the arms in his hands. I don't think it was a fit of pig.
Just a note there, Carlton, as well, right at the front we saw Mark Cavendish. Just a few things on Cav. We know he likes to settle with his position quite a lot and change things around. On the first day of the Tour de France he had on blue shoes. After that he put white shoes back on. It is raining today, so maybe it's through that, but no, Mark, probably not. But also, he's not on the bike he won on the magical 30 stage 35 victory. He's back onto his black, white and yellow bike, which he's been on for most of the year, but he's black with blue shoes to be as well. So a few things just changed for him there. I'm not sure why. Once again, Matt Stevens, if you're asking, you can go and ask Mark Renshaw in the car if there's any particular reason you have. Not allowed to interview riders, but maybe suggest somehow. But yeah, just always something different.
The bike's probably in the museum already. No, it will be at the end of the race, I'm certain. It's going to be retired, never to turn a pedal stroke again, I would imagine. What an amazing achievement. I mean, with so much has happened, Danny, it's almost just one of the stories, but, you know, for Mark and many, it is the story of the race so far.
Yeah, it is. It's been a project for well over a year, hasn't it? He was due to retire in last year's Tour de France, but then broke his collarbone in a crash early on. And then the calls were made to Michael Morkov, who we've already talked about, who's just announced he's going to be retiring at the end of the year, to come across to Astana as the best lead-out man for Mark Cavendish, someone he's ridden with in the past. And that was when the project was on this quest for victory 35 in the Tour de France. So many people behind the scenes, you know, supporting in that victory, and we've seen it. People were talking about whether he'd done enough already this season, a couple of stage wins, but did he have the legs? Did he have the ability to, you know, beat these riders such as Jasper Philipsen, who we were picking up as a big favourite coming into the Tour? But he has done it, he's delivered, and that is just remarkable. And the resilience and how he's had a turbulent career, obviously such a successful one, but the way in which he's come back mentally through these ups and downs and people writing him off. You know, and last time he won here was 2013. You know, it's such a long time ago, which just shows the, you know, how remarkable this man is. So yeah, chapeau to him, the whole team behind the scenes to
John, you're going to have to tell us about this arch in this beautiful medieval settlement.
Well, this is the medieval city of Mywhoosh. The medieval town wall was built in the early 13th century under the reign of Philip II, and you had 4 square gates, north, south, east and west gates. The west one has disintegrated, but the other 3 have been preserved. There was the l'église Saint-Aubin in the middle there as well that we saw, and Mywhoosh is very famous for its andouillettes. Now, andouillettes, as those of you who have watched the tour in the last decade will know, is my least favourite thing in France. I find it absolutely disgusting, but I had a fascination with it, and I kept on thinking, oh, andouillette, what's that? I should try it. And so someone one day just turned around and suggested to me, well, order it. And I did, and that is the one and only time that I've had andouillette. I even bought a sausage roll andouillette once by mistake, and that went straight in the bin.
Saint-Amand, our destination on stage 13 of the Tour de France in 2013. What if 13 is unlucky for some? Then it was unlucky for just about everybody else. Mark Cavendish in the British Champions bands, bringing it home and looking absolutely emphatic. Peter Sagan was here, as you can see, sort of mustachioed Sagan, that version on the day. Kept beating him, Bauke Mollema, Jakob Fuglsang, Nicky Terpstra, Alberto Contador just cruising home in 7th place, keeping it safe back then. Happy days, I think it's fair to say. What a long career. And when you talk about sprinters, it's the most dangerous, the most focused thing you can possibly do as a sprinter. And usually, sprinters kind of realise their own, I guess, fallibilities, and safety becomes an issue as soon as you become a family man, that kind of thing. Mark has managed to keep doing what he does for our entertainment. It's amazing.
A big day for not only Michael, but also for you today. Possible bunch sprint. You won in the Finnish city 11 years ago in a crosswind drama. Good memories there?
Yeah, it was good. But no one was expecting it to split then. I think today people expect it to split, so I think that's going to kind of stalemate it. And we'll arrive with a bunch sprint. Yeah, it was a very nice stage. It was a hard one, but I think it's the smallest group I've ever arrived at a Tour de France finish with, I think 12 or 15 guys. And it was a brilliant job. And that day as well, the whole team got the combativity prize, which was only one time that's ever happened in the Tour de France, so it's a pretty special memory.
Have a good one today, Michael.
Thank you. It is amazing what he remembers about every single one of his victories. In fact, if he'd been pushed there, Adam, he would have told you how they approached it, what the final bend was like. He knows it all.
He does, yeah. Through each stage you have your story, and for every part of it you've got your chapters, you've got your sentences, everything else for it. But Mark has got a very good memory. But it's always, you know, when you're coming into these bunch sprints, you see so much more than what you think you do. You know, you're always a rider on your left, 4 places on your left. You'll have recognised how much time they've been in the wind, recognise how they've been the last couple of days around you, and all these things you start to put together to think about, to place about, and that's all within the space of 5-6 seconds. You know, we saw the win that Mark got at this year's Tour de France, and it's just that little look across to the left. It's like a tenth of a second that he looks, but it makes a huge difference. But he'll remember those looks. He'll remember the gears that he was in when he was jumping, all that kind of stuff. And it's incredible that he does remember it, and especially when there's 35 of them to remember.
Yeah, it's a remarkable part of his psychology. It really intrigues me with Mark, and we've seen him, you know, on social media taken to a Rubik's Cube and I don't know, video games.
Lego.
And Lego, yeah. It's
Lego.
that again intrigues me as to what a part that plays in so many of his victories. The capacity to be able to remember all these little infinite details, which I think will make a huge difference in the final. I've only won a couple of bike races in my time, and I can't remember anything like that. So I think it's just part of the puzzle that makes him so successful.
Well, they're busy beaming back to base at the moment, just deciding on how to take on the remainder of the day. And as you can see, it's all calm on the, well, not even on the western front, are we? Although we are sort of heading towards the centre of France as we will hook back down towards the Pyrenees, and then remind ourselves that we're going back to the Alps as well. There's an awful lot of climbing still to come. in this race, and in fact, a lot of it stacked into tomorrow, Danny.
Yeah, it's a really tough day tomorrow. The second longest stage, 211 kilometres. So one of the most challenging stages, 4,350 metres of elevation. But it's the last 50 kilometres, which is so savage. 4 categorised climbs and bonus seconds up for grabs. So one of those days that the GC riders would have highlighted. So yeah, we're in for a corker.
Niels Pollitt. I wonder where he parks his tongue when he's just watching telly. Pops out occasionally. I'm always fearing that he's going to bite the end off it, to be honest. Yeah, he stayed safe, thank goodness. Amazing part of the team. I wonder if Niels Pollitt would have fancied it today. Not a darling out-and-out sprinter, and certainly on other duties at the moment. He's a big protecting role, of course, for Tadej Pogačar, a team of absolute superstars coming into this race. And of course, I think when we underscored our favourites for the race itself, you had to include a clutch of greats as well within that same team behind Tadej Pogačar. Charles Almeida, Warren Yuso, Adam Yates, Soler, Wellens, Sivakov. There's no weak link at all in that unit. No wonder they are favourites, Adam.
They are favourites, and they've got, I think the Tour de France, we all know, I know that the Tour de France is, there can be time gained on flat stages, there can be time gained on windy stages. There's always a possibility for time to be gained, but the majority, where that time comes from, is on the mountains. And if you look at UAE, they have got a team full of riders which are capable of flying. You know, you've got Niels Pollitt there, he can get over the first 2 mountains probably on a big mountain day, and then the rest of them, depending on the workload they have to do, they can all make it into the 3rd or 4th mountain as well. So yeah, on paper, any roads that start to go uphill, they have the best team on paper in this year's race.
Problem with paper is it's highly flammable and anything can happen. And I kind of feared that would be the case on stage 9. We've all talked about it roundly, Adam. Do you think the organisers kind of got away with it, or do you think it's just something that we've been just flawed and having enjoyed it so much, possibly, dare we say, look forward to it with however much trepidation to being back something similar again?
I think it should be back. I think it definitely should be back. You know, there's always that risk of the punctures, and we never want to see a rider lose time or anything like that due to gravel or punctures. But punctures can happen anywhere, crashes can happen anywhere. Yes, a lot of it is out of their control massively on the gravel roads, but luckily for us, 2 days ago, we didn't have any of that. You know, we didn't have any of the big crashes apart from Vlasov there. Obviously, a couple of others that we won't really have seen. But in terms of the GC guys, there wasn't any big major issues. You know, it was just Jonas with his bike, but he got back on, and that's part of the drama of the stage. That could happen in any stage at every given moment. So yeah, I think it should come back because, after all, this is entertainment for us. You know, watching the Tour de France is a massive part of entertainment. And as selfish as it sounds, we know how much effort it takes for bike riders, teams, commitment, time away from the families, etc., to be able to get ready to be in the best possible shape for this Tour de France. And selfishly, for everyone, for us watching at home, we don't really consider that too much, and we just like the entertainment side. But along with that, it was flipping entertaining a couple of days ago. Brilliant.
Now, apparently, Intermarché Radio is saying that the wind is starting to pick up. I can't see it at the moment, Adam, but that may well be a feature of the day as we come away from what's been a relatively protected, in terms of woodland areas anyway, race so far. We haven't really had a full gusty day yet, have we? It's been reasonably benign as far as the wind speed is concerned. I mean, we've had some, but nothing like the hoolie that can really blow in areas such as this.
No, I think Cap nailed it earlier. You know, I think a day like today, there is wind and it's up to 17, 18 k's an hour, and there are gusts coming in. But as we heard from the Arkea radio, you know, they're all up at the front already. The teams will all be given instructions to be at the front. And Mark said on that day in 2013, similar stage, almost identical finish in terms of where they are. No one was expecting the winners, and that's when the split happens, because no one was ready for it as such. But today, everyone is on their tiptoes. Everyone's waiting for it, and everyone is ready. You can see at the front of the peloton now, just team after team after team stacked alongside each other, just in case anything happens. And with that, there probably won't be a split, just because of the stress within there, and everyone is ready, everyone is waiting for it. And when it's like this, no team wants to be that first team to start committing into what is maybe a 30 or 40% chance of a split. So, yeah, I fear that for everyone watching at home that it's going to be like this, but this is part of the bike racing, and you do never know. There might be that one team that decides to really give it a go and spice things up, and then bike racing, as we know, is very unpredictable. We could have punctures, we could have, touch wood, hopefully no crashes, and that interrupts the race. And what is the outcome of it?
We shall see. That's been the glory of this race so far, is we haven't really known how it's going to pan out until the very last. Turgis win yesterday, Gamay a double, Evan a pole, his victory, and the time trial probably the most predictable of everything he's done.
I know it was raining before slightly there, but now it's 28 degrees and it's really a lot of humidity, to have energy in the final.
There we are. A heavy day in terms of humidity, 28%. The rain has gone. I don't know whether it will be back a little bit later on. Apparently the wind will blow up with around 58 kilometres to go, and it's going to be a cross tailwind. Let's see how strong that is. When you have storm activity, Adam, it can be difficult to read the weather conditions. You might feel, I don't know, just perfectly okay, and you can see the water bottles being brought up now, and everyone is being told basically to keep hydrated, keep sensible, and get yourself ready, because we don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know what's going to happen now. We know that there'll be a winner at this stage, but we don't know in what shape or form. Is it going to be a small group coming to the line? Is it going to be a late attack with those 3 corners? We've got under a kilometre to go. Someone maybe taking big risks. We don't know. These guys don't know, but the teams that want it to be a sprint will try and control the controllables as much as possible in terms of where they're sitting in the peloton. If there's brakes, making sure they're on the right side of the brake, on the right side of the split, excuse me. So yeah, making sure you're hydrated and ready for it is a massive thing on a day like today. We saw on the radio 28 degrees, but a lot of humidity. So it's days like this with a bit of a breeze blowing against you, it is easy to sometimes forget to drink as much as you really need to.
You know, the fans very much part of what we do, of course. You at home, we welcome you and love your company. Also when we get to the high mountains, but there is no part, it seems, of much of the race that isn't actually full of fans. I think it's possibly because it's a feed zone, and they know that they might well be getting some goodies cast their way. I mean, I was going to ask you, Adam, when you were a kid, what was the best thing you ever picked up off the roadside at one of these races? But I don't know whether you ever went along. I've seen grown men wrestle grannies for just a bag of jelly sweets cast from one of the publicity caravans. The fans like their souvenirs, don't they?
By the time the bike riders get through, you've got your hardcore fans, haven't you, that want the bottles, that want something from a bike rider. But if anyone's been to the Tour de France, they'll know what the caravan is like. And the caravan is the sponsors of the Tour de France. So there's Haribo, there's all sorts that go through, loads of different foods, key rings, all that kind of jazz. But the caravan is about 10 to 15 minutes long. And I think it's 1 hour in front of the race. Yes, it's 1 hour in front of the bike race. And constantly throughout the route, they drive the route and they throw these little bits out, food, little bits of key rings, as I said. So by the time the riders get through, if you're not a hardcore fan, you're probably not even thinking of it. You probably filled your boots and got enough food and Christmas presents to give for the next couple of years if you do it well.
Look at you banging on about food. Roy McEwen still chewing on his burger. Will be enjoying it.
Robbie's work, I'll back Robbie up here. He is doing a bit of, he's doing some work in the background, so he's left me to it. I've said it's no problem. Me and you can chew the fat for a little bit longer, Carlton.
Well, we can also discuss the fact that Sheffield is indeed built on 7 hills, just like Rome, and the locals do say that, despite the process stations of John Harris Bass. Am I right, Adam?
Yeah, I'm going to say you're right, Carlton. I've not heard it before, but I will just agree with you.
You've never got the Just Like Rome t-shirt?
I've not, no. It's. I mean, I can see the similarities, but mainly with the weather.
I think it was when we had a few Italian footballers come and grace us quite a few years ago.
Can I just say,
Go on then.
John O'Harris Bass, I mentioned the FaceTime call. has just literally put his head into his hands and started shaking his head at
People
what
of
he's
Sheffield,
listening to with
you
us.
know your nemesis.
Oh, I just can't compete with the Northern Mafia. It's just.
Hey, you got something right, John. Oh, you're correct.
Two sides of the Pennines. It's like a pitchfork.
Can I just cut in here a bit? As much as I love describing
Please.
Sheffield as sorry, I'm at the door. We're just coming into some really interesting wine territory, which is brilliant because we're going to a break.
Go on then, fill your boots.
Well, we're coming into the territory here of Sancerre and Rouy, both of which are really delicious white wines. Rouy, I would say, vastly superior to Sancerre, but a lot more expensive as well. Sancerre, which has gone up in price spectacularly in the time that I've sort of known it, and actually I much prefer a Puy if I'm going to be spending that amount of money on a bottle of wine. But just a little further up the Loire, when we started out today, we went through Chevigny, or close to Chevigny, and they make amazing red and white wines, and they're nowhere near as expensive as Sancerre. However, they have again massively gone up in price, as all wines have, and I think the import duty paid now in Britain for French wines has gone up considerably, because of the vote that will never speak its name. And it's a real shame. The accessibility of many of these wines now is becoming much harder to come by in the UK.
Like, subscribe.
Visit France, I would suggest.
Thanks for watching.
Your table wines where it would be much more reasonable.
Should have a 2-hour ride tomorrow. Hey, actually counted.
Really crisp whites, fresh, refreshing reds.
Is it true, sorry Colton, if you mix red and white, that you get your rosé? Actually, I know the answer to this.
See you guys.